Okay, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Live from the Sword Coast podcast. My name is Kevin Madison, and I will be your friendly dungeon master this evening. Tonight, I am joined by Jeffrey, one of the regular fixtures here.
Fixed.
And you know, it's giving me that XSplit broadcaster bullshit again. Hold on, I gotta kill that. How did I fix that last time?
You had to turn XSplit on.
Did I turn on and then off? Or, hold up, you know what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to Task Manager, and I'm going to find XSplit and fucking kill it. Where are you? Let's see if that makes a difference. Okay, that is, you know, it's weird because it didn't do that when we played on Friday.
No, you're right.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna start up XSplit and then I'll kill it right away. So anyway, sorry for those listening at home. Jeff and I are getting together to continue our. Well, actually, we're down a player tonight, so we're not playing our Shadow of the Demon Lord campaign, and the special edition of the Blades in the Dark role-playing game just arrived in the mail today, and I took that as a sign that we should revisit the Black Opals campaign, because it's been a while since we've seen these guys.
Yeah,
so, let me see.
A little while.
Okay, what is going on? What is going on? Right now I am wrestling with fucking XSplit and Roll20 to try and get... Yeah, god dang. Now, let me see if I can...
Let me...
Okay. I just ended task with XSplit, but it's showing me what I'll do is I'll hop out of Roll20 and hop back in, see if that makes a difference. There's a game. God, that's irritating.
Maybe we should tell everybody what happened I can go through what happened in the downtime while you...
Why don't you do that while I'm wrestling with my computer? That's a terrific idea.
So, right after the last encounter, where the Black Opals... What was the name of the gang that we took out?
The gang was the Lost.
The Lost. As they were fleeing, then Cross was picked up by Constable Moon and a group of Bluecoats. They brought him in for questioning, and Cross thought that he had an opportunity to maybe get thrown in prison so that he could have an opportunity to speak with his mentor. What was that character's name? It's been so long I forgot everybody's name.
You're the mentor, or the guy you met at? Oh, your mentor. What? Sorry, I know what you mean. His name was.
Yeah, the guy we were working for.
Orland Templeton.
Right.
He was the former boss of the temple.
Yeah. So once Cross was picked up, he confessed to the attack on the Lost, thinking that that's what they wanted, but the line of questioning that the constable was going through was sort of not connected to that at all, and Cross really couldn't answer any of the questions that he was being asked. So his confession really got him nowhere, and the Bluecoats, instead of sending him to prison, took him out back behind the police station and gave him a horrible back alley beating. So after that, Casslyn, was it Casslyn who came and found him?
Yeah, Casslyn found him in the alleyway having had the shit kicked out of him.
Yeah, and so then they headed off to try and get help from, where's his name? This character, Sawtooth, the doctor.
Yep.
And Casslyn tried to convince him to help Cross. Cross and Sawtooth are enemies, and Casslyn and Sawtooth are allies. And so it didn't work out. Sawtooth refused to help Cross. And so then they sort of left there, and there was some trouble. I guess I could read this dialogue if we wanted. Basically, Sawtooth tried to take advantage of Casslyn, and so that's sort of the typical scenario that happens between them. And
I think Casslyn actually offered. Sawtooth didn't try and take advantage. She offered to him to take it to try and get him to help Cross.
Right. Well, it wasn't exactly clear what she offered. She didn't like right out say that she would sleep with him, but she did make it sound like, you know.
Yeah.
And so then he basically turned her down. Well, he turned down helping Cross. He said he wasn't worth it, and he whispered to Cross, you know, you're a piece of crap and you're ruining her life, et cetera, et cetera. And
do I need XSplit for anything?
no, I don't think you actually need it.
Okay, so maybe I'll just fucking uninstall this program then. Because if I don't need it for anything, then fuck it.
So basically, Sawtooth told Cross that, you know, you're poison, you are rot, you do nothing but ruin her, and the sooner she is free of you, the better she'll be. And he kicked them out, and then after Casslyn was outside, Cross kind of went back inside real quick, and he said to Sawtooth, you better hope that you never run into me in a dark alley alone, or the only offer you will be receiving is to have your nurse chew your food for you so that you can continue your sad existence. Mm-hmm. And then he went back outside, and Casslyn was like, what was all that about? And he said, nothing. I told him that we're finding a new physiker, and best of luck with his business. And Casslyn calls bullshit on Cross. And then he says, just drop it, and we'll find someone else. So they're heading, I believe they're heading to the Vale first.
Yeah, and I think that, so Cross, let me see here. I was reading this, the summary email before the session too, because to be honest, I needed a reminder of what happened in between.
Yeah, so there was.
How did he reduce?
Cross was looking for a full-time physiker in the end, but he needs help now temporarily.
Yes, so he was going to use, Cross has one more downtime action to take before he has to start spending coins for it, and Casslyn has 2 to go.
Right, and so Cross is, they're both going to use 1 to go to the Vale first.
Okay, I'm just...
Yeah.
Okay, so I think I've got it marked down in the sheet that he's got a level 2 harm, but I think it's actually a 3 because he didn't resist it.
I believe that is correct.
Okay, so I'm just going to quickly change. I'm still tracking it old school on the sheets here because I mean, to be honest, it's one of the things I love about this game. Is the old having an actual character sheet you're working with.
Yeah. So he needs to find a physiker that can help him now.
Yeah.
But he would like that to be maybe the first step in building a new relationship with someone different. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So you'd kind of like to achieve both things. Get help, but then also use that meeting to try and get a new ally.
What you could do is, so mechanically, what we'll do, just give me 1 second. I'm trying to get this.
I think you eventually had to leave.
Yeah, I think what I had to do is put everything down, and then. But what I'll do is, let me see. I just exited. That was it. That worked. No.
Let me exit Roll20 real quick.
I
think you have to have XSplit running when you join Roll20.
No, because I shut that down. I should actually just go back and look at the video and see what we did to fix it.
Maybe you turned it off and then you logged out and logged back in.
Yeah, let me try doing that.
Let me set the game too, and you'll tell me when you're in there.
Okay. I mean, to be honest, we don't really need, I guess, the we don't need Roll20. I mean, like, we don't need it on camera at least for this game.
Right.
So, let me see. Join game. And then in between games, I will uninstall XSplit because fuck that program. I'm in now. Why don't you go ahead and join in? So let's see if gives me.
Okay, be ready for the sound.
Yep. Nope, XSplit again. Fuck you. Okay, how do I uninstall XSplit then, Jeff? You'll probably can.
Just click on Windows logo and just type uninstall.
Where's
type remove? So type add. So just click on Windows and type add. And the top hit should be system settings, add or remove programs.
Oh, yeah. Brilliant. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and once you click on that, it'll just bring up a list of everything that you have on your computer.
And this is totally, you know, what people are tuning in for is the riveting me versus a computer.
What the shit is this?
Okay.
Uninstall. Candy Crush installed some shit on my computer that I never wanted.
Wow.
It must have come through on another app. Get out of here, Candy Crush Saga Soda. Nonsense. Unbelievable. I wonder who auto-installs that. Holy Microsoft. Groove Music. I don't use you either. Stupidness.
Okay, let's see here. That's actually one of the problems. I got that when I got my new phone. The Samsung phones come with just a ton of bloatware on them. Okay, so XSplit is removing. Let's see if this solves my problem. Okay, so anyway, getting to... So Cross currently needs help to do anything because he's so fucked up.
Right.
To find a physiker... Let me see here.
Maybe what will happen is Casslyn will take Cross back to their hideout, and she says, "I'll take care of it," and she'll use one of her downtime activities to go find one.
Okay. Oh shit! Okay, you know what? I may have to restart this call because it's going to close down Google Chrome in order to uninstall this.
Oh, okay.
So you know what? I'll leave that and I'll do that after our session. It's a short session anyway, so and I don't care. So we'll just we won't use Roll20 for the broadcast. We'll just use it for the for us. I mean, I'm using physical dice, and I got physical dice as well too. My House Karita dice. Okay, so that sounds good. So that's what she's going to do then. So let's see here. I was reading about the downtime activities. So you bring Cross back to the that like tenement building that you guys were living in.
Yeah.
I think that the how do you think your relationship is with the landlady there?
I think she's happy to have us there and hasn't quite realized what kind of shit-kicking hooligans we are yet.
Okay. So your landlady's name is Mrs. Mitchter.
Okay.
Mchter.
place for notes. Sure.
So as she's sort of tidying up as, for one of the other tenants' messes as you guys walk in, and she says, "Lord, what happened to him?"
Oh, just a misunderstanding with the boys.
It looks like a hell of a misunderstanding. He's not going to make a mess, is he?
No, of course not. And
Well, all right then. What do you? And there's someone else who's coming in, so she starts, interrogating them. So you're able to bring Cross upstairs. Cross is, like I said, he's pretty fucked up right now. That everything is swollen. Maybe one of his eyes is shut as well. And for Cross, it's painful to move anything. So Casslyn is going to leave him there. Is there anything that she says before she heads out?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So then out she goes. So to mechanically speaking, to acquire an asset.
What about just to get help right now?
That's effectively what it's going to be. It's you tracking down another doctor, another contact. I'm just going to roll we're going to roll the tier. See
Okay.
how basically, how good of a quality this guy is. Now, how do you think, how is she planning on going about this? Is she going to use, go back to Lutz? Remember, Lutz is that barkeep who is the gang's contact.
Right. I believe that's what originally I had said in that email, that we would talk to Lutz about it.
Yeah. Okay. So you head back to Lutz. The two other guys you've got are Noggs and Weaver.
Right.
The two thugs. So what? Where are Noggs and Weaver at this point? Are they still celebrating, or are they going off?
I would say this is where they hang out.
Okay, so you walk in and Noggs and Weaver are there, sort of like retelling the stories. You can sort of see one of them is acting out, and like then they, the sort of the fight they had with the members of the Lost, and they break into laughter. There's a bunch of empty glasses around them. Lutz comes in and he says, "Oh, young lady, I thought you were done for the evening."
Yes, I thought so too. Unfortunately, Cross is in bad shape.
Not from. You wouldn't celebrate if he was in that bad shape before. What happened?
Well, the Bluecoats picked him up and they gave him a real beating.
Ah, I see.
I tried to take him to Sawtooth, but you know about their relationship. That didn't go well at all.
No, you couldn't have thought that would have gone well, though.
Well, I was desperate.
Understood. So, I take it you need to find another physiker then.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you know of anyone?
Why don't you roll one dice for me, Jeff? And let's see.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I don't have to roll physical dice. I was about to actually roll my dice. Used to roll.
You can if you like. It's your preference.
No, this way everybody can see it.
Well, they can't because I've got. I'm not sharing on Roll20.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I know. Bush League DM.
Actually, because Roll20 has just been letting me down so bad on this game.
Yeah, you've been rolling terribly on that.
Oh, it's like right before this was like a 2 on 3 dice and a 2 on 3 dice again or something like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So how'd you do? Did you roll on Roll20? Sorry, I can't.
Oh yeah, I rolled a 1.
A 1. Okay. Okay. So what you rolled, mechanically speaking, is what we were rolling for was the quality of this new asset, of this new person you're contacting. Turns out, it's what the roll does is it tells you what tier this contact or this asset is. It's not a contact; it's an asset. And remember that you guys are tier 0 right now. You rolled 1, which means it's tier -1. which doesn't really exist. So Lutz sort of, just give me a second. I'm just gonna get a name. He says, well, at this point, you may have to talk to Dr. TikTok. Now, you've heard things about Dr. TikTok. None of them are good. This is a guy who was at one point a proper actual physicier who was an up and coming surgeon and whatnot, but he was involved. You may remember that there's the spectrological sciences in this setting where they use Leviathan blood or electroplasm to power a bunch of different steampunky style devices.
Yeah.
I think Dr. TikTok maybe is trying to be a trailblazer in the realm of steampunk prosthetics, but not necessarily with the consent of the patients. And he's also not seen an awful lot of success. So I think he's wanted. He's a wanted criminal, but he's so fucking unpredictable that most criminals in their any criminal of self-respecting guy would never go to this fucking guy, but he's who you've got.
Wow. Okay.
So, is that all? Oh, okay. However, no. You know what? What you can do is, sorry, I forgot. There's one thing you can do to modify that. You could spend a coin to modify that. You spend a coin to raise the result of this roll. Let's see here. You can spend coin to raise the result of this roll. Excuse me. Excuse me. Oh, thanks. Yeah. On a 1-for-1 basis. To get someone who's not so fucking incompetent, it would be 4 though. So you'd have to pony up. I guess what he does is he maybe gives you an option for you could spend 3 gold to try and get someone new. And remember that gold, each gold is effectively like a briefcase full of money.
Right.
So it's a huge amount of money. If you really want to break the bank, and between you guys, you have 6 gold right now.
Right. I think what we would. Casslyn is not interested in that.
In spending the money or in Dr. TikTok?
Money. She's like, maybe this will teach him a lesson.
No, okay. So, so you've got your act.
Yeah, keep going.
Okay. So, anything else you want to do in the scene, or?
No, I think she just thanks finds out from Lutz where to find Dr. TikTok. I guess Lutz must know then.
Yeah. Dr. TikTok is, I think, located in. I think in Crowsfoot, and remember that's the map, right?
Yeah.
Crowsfoot's right in the middle there, and you guys live in 6 Towers.
Right. Okay.
So, yeah. So that sounds.
So she goes. Casslyn goes back to get Cross. She's like, "Well, you're coming with me." He says, "Where are we going?" She says, "You're not gonna like it."
Okay, how does he react when he's told that it's Dr. TikTok you're going to?
He starts to protest, but then his ribs and everything's in such bad shape that he just really can't fight her, and he says, "Well, I guess anything's better than that sawtooth bastard."
Yeah. Okay, so I'm just reading the recover downtime activity. So recover is like a long-term project. Your healer rolls, and then that'll tell you how many segments you recover. Now, because this is effectively -1 tier guy, what you're going to do is roll 2. Oh fuck! It's even worse than that. So normally what it would do is if you're tier 0, if you get a 0 in something, then what you do is you roll 2 dice and you take the lowest of the 2. This guy's worse than that. So,
well, there's really no point doing it, Kev. I mean, to be honest.
No, because you're going to. What I think I'm going to say is like he's still going to be able to get what you wasted or spent a downtime activity doing this. You're going to get something out of it. And the thing is, there's no such thing as getting no ticks in your recovery. It's a full tick clock to get the recovery, and you can spend gold to modify the result. But just give me a second here. What I'm going to do is, I think what I'll say is that there's going to be a oh god, too many fucking games. It's not called a complication, but it's something like that. Where is it here? A harm that comes with it, or a consequence, and you can resist this the same as you can any other things. So, and I think what it'll be. I think what it's going to be is a level 1 complication, which will be the healing apparatus. And what it is Dr. TikTok is going to like hook this giant contraption up to you and say like, it will help with the electrical flow of the body and help with the healing. So keep it on. So you have to keep this giant fucking thing on until you resist this, just like any other kind of healing.
Right.
So, but the upside to this is you can resist that. You can say, like as soon as he walks away, he tears all that shit off or whatever you want. You just have to resist it then with one of your abilities.
Right.
So first, let's do the scene where you arrive at Dr. TikTok's place. So Dr. TikTok's laboratory is, and he has to say it like that because he's a mad scientist, is located in you know what? Fuck it. I don't have to be creative at all. I can use my cool generation tables here, which I love. Duskfall buildings. Here we go. So the exterior of the building is, excuse me, is a gray, like a gray or washed out kind of wood. And 1 and 4. This used to be an academy. So it was a place of learning at one point, which is maybe why it appealed to him so much. 6 and 5. With a bunch of, it's clearly been here for a while too, because the outside of it as well has a bunch of like porcelain or stonework, elaborate, dated accoutrements to it. So this place may have been some kind of history, like historical society or something like that back in the day, but it is used by Dr. TikTok now for his own activities. And you can tell it's his because there is sort of hanging off the corner of one of the buildings, there's this giant transformer that, as soon as water hits it, spews out sparks. And that's around where the side entrance is that gets him in. The outside of this place is all, boarded up, but the locals sort of know this is where, Dr. TikTok is located. So you you show up at the door, you knock on the door, and or I guess who does the talking here? Cross is still like requiring help to get moved around. Okay, so you knock the door, and door opens up, and there's a short guy who's got a full head of hair, but it's all this wavy big mass that sort of goes behind him, and it's strapped down by a pair of big goggles that he still has on in his face, and they seem so stained by whatever that it's a miracle that he could see out of them. There's a bluish white glow coming from inside that's pulsating. You can hear crackling from inside, and there's the smell of ozone. This guy's got a big honey drip mustache. Hasn't shaved in quite a while. He's got a big leather smock on that's got a bunch of scorch marks on it, and he's got big leather gloves on as well. And he looks up at you guys and says, "What? Business or trouble?"
Oh, business. Clearly, you are the famous Dr. TikTok.
Yes. So they tell me. Come, all right. And he kind of looks outside and looks up and down, and there's more sparks that fly down, basically on top of you guys. It's all right. Come in if you're coming in. You walk inside, and he pulls the door shut. He says, "Well," and in the middle of this room, there's brass, electrical equipment all over the place in here. There's wires seeming to run everywhere, and where the sparks are coming from is from like I can't remember what they're called. What are it's a little ball that shoots electricity out of it.
Oh,
I've been
like Tesla.
It might be. Well, we'll call it that. So there's lightning that's kind of arcing out from that and scorching around and dancing around the room, but at sort of a perimeter. And in the middle of that, hooked up, there's a bunch of what appear to be some kind of organs in jars that are having current fed into them. He says, wait, don't move too close. And he sort of stops, and there's a line where sort of the scorching stops. And he pulls this lever and, deactivates the circuit on something. And then finally the lights sort of go really bright for a second and then sort of dim back down to a normal level. He takes his goggles off his head. He looks up, and you realize that his skin is actually almost like tanned because there's big white, sort of circles around where his pale skin is underneath the goggles. And he looks at your brother hanging off of you, and says, "You're here for him, then?"
Yeah, she says, "I am Casslyn. This is my brother Cross, and we need your help. The blue cloaks have really laid a beating on my brother."
Well, let's see if anything can be done. Bring him into the exam room. And he gestures to, or he sort of like leads you along to this room, and he's carefully looking behind you to make sure you're following. He leads you into the second room, and there is a sort of stainless steel, as a surprisingly sterile looking exam table, and there are a bunch of. This actually looks like a physicker's office. So there's a bunch of cotton balls in a glass container. There's a bunch of a stethoscope, or like a very antiquated kind of look version of a stethoscope. There's a bunch of like weird unguents and medications and concoctions that are located in a bunch of drawers or cabinets up on the wall. And then there's some fairly unusual apparati. I'm not sure if that's the plural of apparatuses, but I think that's right.
Yeah, I think that's right.
And he gets you to sit on the table, and then he gets out this like weird sort of series of like clamps and contraptions, and he hooks them all up to your brother, who seems like sort of he's trying his best to. Well, actually, you tell me, like, he's in an awful lot of pain right now. But how's he trying to present to this doctor?
He's not really hiding how beat up he is. But when the doctor leans in and is putting some of the equipment on, he sort of whispers to him. He says, "She may look beautiful, but trust me, my sister is very deadly. If I die here today, I promise you, this will also be your last day.
He looks at you and he says, well, fortunately, you seem more determined to live than to spite me. So he puts a strap on your arm and you're like, he's all right. And he hits some things, and Cross feels a bit of like there's a weird current going through you. And there's a bunch of gauges that are on the outside of this this device. And he's going over and stroking his, like, the one bald patch between his mustache, like, droops. And he's saying, all right. So, the way this works, Jeff, is that's sort of how I'm gonna say this plays out. Is you'll roll 2 dice and you'll take the lowest of the 2. That'll be the how many ticks you get on the healing clock.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And I was reading the thing. So when you fill your healing clock, reduce each instance of harm on your sheet by 1 level. So what I'm going to say is that this device, the complication is that that complication will come after, or the harm rather will come after that healing thing ticks in. So you'll still have what you would effectively have is a level 2 thing that will be back alley beating, and a level 2 harm, and a level 1 harm that is healing apparatus.
Right. Okay, I see.
But again, you can resist that healing apparatus if you like, and we'll narrate out how that plays out in the fiction. But that's if you get, well, let me rephrase that. That's when you get the full healing clock. You would have to roll a critical. You'd have to roll. Well, actually, you really can't roll a critical unless you spend gold. If you rolled 2 6s, you could spend 1 gold to get it to critical, which would heal all of your stuff.
Right. Okay.
But what you can also do is, so maybe let's start with this. We'll get you to roll, and let's see how the roll goes, and then you can decide whether you want to spend gold or not to up that roll.
Right. Okay. So I rolled 2d6.
Yep. I should actually look at roll 20 then. Let's see.
I'll just roll it as the black opals.
Yeah. So 4 and a 3.
3 is the low roll.
Yeah. Okay. So a 3 will, unfortunately, only heal 1 segment. So you'll still need 3 more segments before you shake that level 3 one. But your healing apparatus will only last until you do another healing action. Now,
so that means that I still have a level 3 harm until I fill this whole clock.
Yeah.
And it takes 1 downtime activity for each of these rolls.
Yeah, but what you can do is you could spend a gold to do another downtime activity, so to spend like more time in the clinic, or you could spend, like, you rolled a 3. If you spent 1 gold, that would bump it up to a 4, which would give you 2 segments healed, and then you would just need 1 more 4. So what maybe you could do, like, to be more cost effective rather than trying to buy it up to 15, is you spend 1 gold to bump it up to 4, so you heal 2, and then you spend 1 gold to do another downtime activity for Cross, and then hope that the roll will be a 3, a 4 or higher for his healing, and then that would heal that would fill your healing clock and bring it down by 1. Does that make sense? Not really?
Well, okay, so if I spent 1 gold, I could up it by 1, and if I spent another gold, I could try it again.
Yeah, that's right. So, like, what you could do is, so effectively before the next score, you could try and get that level 3 down to a level 2. So with your current downtime activity you're doing, which is your healing, you rolled a 3. If you spend 1 gold on that bumps it up to a 4, which heals or gives you 2 ticks in your healing clock rather than 1.
Right.
What I'm saying is that, so what you could do is, if you had spent, let's see, you rolled 3, you would have to spend 4 gold to get that in this 1 downtime action to get all of your harms healed except for that healing apparatus. Alternatively, what you could do, which might be more cost effective, is just spend the 1 to boost the roll for this downtime activity, then buy another downtime activity with a gold, and use well, I know your asset will be good for Dr. TikTok will be good until your next score, I'll say. So you could then you use that extra downtime activity to try again with his healing.
Right. But I still need to go see. Yeah, this is. You don't get a lot of downtime activities because I also have stress to blow off.
You do have 3 gold. Like there's the game is, well, first off, you rolled an unfortunate because of the amount of heat you guys generated in that one activity. That's where you got just you got the attention of the officer, and the particular entanglement I rolled was a bad one. So, but to a degree, this is sort of the way the game is designed to be, is to play characters who are sort of the put upon heroes, right? Or not heroes, but like...
Right, I get it. But what I'm saying is, like, the actual best thing to do is to run my next score without cross.
You could do that too.
Like Casslyn would do it herself.
The downside there is you don't have the benefit of another, of all his abilities, though.
No, I get that. But I mean, so let's say if I spend 1 gold to increase this roll, and now my healing is half done.
That's right, yeah.
And then I spend another gold so that I can go to the Vice or the Veil with Casslyn.
You would still need help with all that, so because you're
see this, it's like a downward spiral where we're in such a hole you can't get out of a hole.
Well, and this is where it's why it would have been important to try and resist that initially, because if this was a level 2 harm, then all you would have been suffering would have been a -1 to your dice roll.
Right.
Or
when
level 3.
When you're level 0, -1 to your dice rolls is very bad.
Right, but there's some things that you're just shitty at, and there's some things you're good at. Your wreck is a 3, your skirmish is a 2.
Right.
So if you want to go back, this is the first time we're playing through from a score through to a follow-up session. You want to go back and say, like, look, instead of taking level 3, I'll reduce it by 1 by saying, by resisting it.
No, I don't want to retroactively change things. I'm just trying to figure out how the game works. Like, so if we spent our entire 6 gold from this score,
yeah,
4 of it on, well, no, I wouldn't have to spend it all. You're saying 4 right now would heal cross, except for the apparatus.
I'm saying, if you spent 4 gold in total, that would heal him down, so he now have a level 2 harm instead of a level 3. Excuse me.
Right. And then he can spend 1 more gold to go to the Veil to the Veil with Casslyn. She doesn't have to spend that gold because she's already has 1 more downtime activity.
She has, yes, that's right.
And then they could go to the Veil and try and blow off some stress, because they both have really high stress as well at this point.
Yeah. Like, I think that the way the game is sort of
But I don't mind if it requires me spending all my gold to fix this. That's fine, but
I think that's part of that. That's especially when you're starting off. Like, until there are other things as you expand your territory, you can gain things that will give you an influx of gold. But which is some of the scores you can work towards.
Right.
But for this one, the expectation, I think, is that you will always try and, a level 3 harm is, as you can see, is really fucking crippling. So you almost always want to resist that. And something that will lead to, if that had pushed you over the maximum of your stress and you gained a trauma, that actually, think of it in terms of a pilot episode of a,
but the reason I didn't resist it, Kev, is because in the rules it said I couldn't.
No, you misread that. Remember, I sent you a follow-up email about that? You had misread that. You were reading about a different kind of activity rather than entanglements.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. So again, if you want to try resist that instead of walking around with a level 3 harm, I'm fine with that. It's the first time we're playing, the game, really. So.
Oh, right. We never revisited that in that email since I thought that I couldn't resist it.
Let me see.
Yeah, I don't. What? Yeah.
let's see here, because you.
I did say I wouldn't resist it.
Yeah, you did say but again, I'm not sure you appreciated the consequence of a level 3 harm at the time. So I'm fine with giving you the opportunity to resist it retroactively. With how much stress he's rocking, be looking at a trauma anyway. If he fails.
Oh, no. Kevin is okay. Wait. What you said was, what this means is that the Black Opal's heat will stay high, but it does mean that the back alley beating will only be a level 2 harm. That's why you put it on the character sheet as level 2.
No, that's what I'm saying. When you were interrogated, you can choose to pay 3 coins. You can take a level 2 harm, or you can tell them what they want. Sorry, level 2. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so it is level 2.
It is level 2. Okay.
The character sheet is marked right. So if I spend 4 gold, that level 2 will become a level 1.
That's right. But you'll have 2 level 1s then.
Right. Which would mean that if I took another one, they would automatically be a level 2.
That's right.
Okay, so let's do that. Let's spend the 4 gold.
Okay. So that means Cross is out of money, and Casslyn has 2 left.
Right.
Okay. So
Casslyn gives them the money.
Yeah, I'm assuming they're brother and sister. So okay, so currently.
And now I can attempt to resist. Okay, I'm going to move back alley beating to level 1. Okay. And then I can attempt to resist this apparatus, and we can role play that as after, right?
Okay, so we sort of like there's maybe a cut scene where Dr. TikTok says, "All right, well, I've got a treatment that may work, but let's see." And then we sort of like see really Casslyn seeing him react, and we see sort of like obscured angles of like Dr. TikTok working over Cross. And then finally, at the end of it, we see Dr. TikTok sit back, and he says, "All right, we'll sit up then." And you're effectively wearing kind of like a series of like fine wires and stuff all across your body that is secured with leather straps.
Yeah.
And there's like your head included, and there's little like arcs of electricity going down, and you're doing kind of weird, little ticks as well. And he says, "Yes, that you have it. It's the electro regenerative cage is secured. So do not take that off. That will assist you in your recovery.
Okay.
The battery runs down. You will know it's time to take it off."
Okay. So we pay him the gold, and we thank him.
Yep.
And we tell him if he ever has any jobs he needs done, that he should contact the Black Opals.
Okay. And let's see here. I think, what are you going to use to resist that?
Okay. So how does resist work again?
You're just rolling either your prowess, your insight, or your resolve. Now, I think.
So I have 1 out of 6 resolve, and the other ones are 0s.
Cross has a 3 in prowess and has a 2 in resolve and 0 in insight. Remember, you read the first tick going down?
Wait, what?
I don't know how it is on Roll20. Let me take a look.
Roll20, it says right now I have 0 out of 6 prowess.
Let me see. Okay, Cross. Here we go. Character sheet.
Maybe we just didn't adjust that part.
Oh, yes, that was not. Oh, no, because that's the XP.
Oh, that's XP. What?
Yeah, because that's and so what you would read is just like if you click roll next to your. Oh, let's just see. I'll hit that. Let's see here. So I rolled. Oops. Prowess. And it rolled 3 dice. Let me see if that's rolled resolve, and it rolled 2 dice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that it's rolling properly. It's just it doesn't display. So basically, you get 1 point for each skill, or each, not skill, but like activity, or I can't remember what it's called in the game.
So what does the one result mean?
What that means, let's see here. Oh, and takes, so that means your
So what it's doing is 6 minus the highest roll.
Yeah, because it's a 6 minus the highest roll, which is a 5 on both of those rolls, which means you would have taken 1 stress. I know, well, that's me rolling. If you prefer to roll yourself, I'm happy for you to do that.
Right. Yeah. That's fine. I just wanted to be clarified because he has. He
Narratively,
also has 7 out of 9 stress. I have to roll at least a 4. Because if I go above 9, he gains a permanent thing, right?
he gains a. That's right. He gains
Or is it at 9?
It is at 9. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I think it's when you hit 10. Is when.
Okay. So as long as I roll at least 1 4, I'll only be maxed. I won't be.
Well, let me before I. It's been a little bit since we've run the game. Let me just double check.
Well, I mean that's what would make sense to me. It goes to 9. When you receive your 10th, it goes back to 0, and you permanently gain 1.
When you mark the last trauma box, stress box, then you gain a trauma.
And so, what does that look like on the actual PDFs then?
On the actual PDFs, it's a little tick like this.
Yeah, but is it the 9th one or the 10th one?
9th one.
Oh, so if I rolled, I have to roll at least as good as what you just rolled.
Yes, you do.
Or I'll permanently become cold, haunted, obsessed, paranoid, reckless, soft, unstable, or vicious.
Which is again like par for the course with this game. That's what the game's about. Is sort of.
Right. So do I have to resist this as soon as I leave, or can I go to the Veil first?
No, you have to resist it when it's being presented to you.
Oh, like I have to rip it off in front of them.
Yeah, because what you're saying is like it's you kind of breaking the rules and saying like, nope, that doesn't happen. And you're, instead of suffering the harm, you're suffering the stress instead.
Okay, I'll just do it.
Okay.
I mean, I don't mind bad stuff happening to my characters, so whatever.
Yeah.
It just sucks that it's all happening on the very first score. So, okay, I roll the best one, which would be...
Well, no, you pick... what you have to do is pick one of them and describe for me why that one applies. So insight is consequences from deception or understanding. Prowess is consequences from physical strain or injury, and resolve is consequences from mental strain or willpower. I think it sounds like a prowess to me.
Right. He's saying I'm fine. You fixed me. I don't need this crap. I'm strong enough without it.
Yeah. Like he's tough as old shoe leather, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And again, remember, in this game, you're the one who ultimately picks. It's just a conversation as to
why he's picking it. Right. He's telling the doctor, I don't need this crap. Look at me. I'm fit like a horse.
So you pull all the, are you doing that while you're still in the...
yeah, well, because he can keep it. I don't need to take his stuff.
Okay.
I'm telling you, keep this for your next patient.
Okay. So go ahead and make your resistance check here. Yes. Nice.
Lucky.
Okay. So
now,
you're...
now I'm at 8 then.
Awesome. Okay. So on the plus side, that means you can indulge like fucking crazy on your vice, because there is no chance of you overindulging. Whatever you get to recover is what you'll take.
Right.
Okay. So
so now they head out to the Veil.
Yeah, to the Veil, and you're going to spend another gold for Cross to get another downtime activity.
Yeah.
Okay, so
so that's 5 total. So we have 1 gold left.
Yes. Or 1 coin. Okay, so let's see here. So you guys stagger in there, and Cross has certainly looked better.
Oh, but I don't need this stupid electro cage thing.
But you didn't need the electro cage, though, so you don't have that harm. And the back LED is not as bad. You just have a limited effect now, instead of having a penalty to your dice pool.
Yeah,
so,
which I need to get rid of.
Yeah. And let me see here. I'm just going to double check what the harm does. So last time we played, I had every aspect of this game fresh in my mind.
I know, and now we're just can't remember anything. Well, I mean, it's been like 3 months or something.
Yeah, and actually earlier today, like while I was working, I played the last session, so I'd have it. I'd remember like what happened and who we met and how they were played. Okay. All right. Okay. So it just diminishes the effect that you can get from actions, but that's fine. All right. So let's see here. You arrive there and you're going to indulge your vices. So the vices are luxury for Casslyn and pleasure for Cross. So after going through that fairly invasive treatment with Dr. TikTok, I imagine that Cross is looking forward to having a different kind of sensory experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you guys walk in, and it's probably, I mean, this has been going on pretty much all night, so it's kind of not in the middle of the day, but earlier in the morning when you walk into the Vale. And as is the case of this place, it sort of goes 24/7, so it's not as busy as it was when you were there in the evening, but it's still pretty, it's still fairly active. So as you walk in, the who seems to never leave here actually is sort of trying to double check his name again.
Yeah, we did have a name for him.
Morlon. Morlon is the main at the Vale. Remember, he's got only 3 fingers on his hand. He's Tycherosi like you guys, but he's got completely black eyes, and he's got like kind of like shark's type teeth, like a bunch of small teeth inside rather than normal human teeth.
Right.
He smiles at you with this that same creepy inhuman grin that he always greets, and he's impeccably dressed and whatnot. He says, the Clermonts.
Morlon.
What can the Vale offer you? You remember that he's the one who set you up with he's Wester Boggs. What's his name? No, yeah, Wester Boggs was the guy who worked for some merchant or whatever to get you guys that last score.
So does spending time here, Kev, normally cost us coin?
No, it's sort of the coins are only really because it's like I said, it's a
Not like a gameplay thing.
Yeah, when there's significant purchases, the game sort of assumes that like if you decided like, oh, I want to buy if I want to get a specific asset that's going to be like really fancy clothes or something like that, that's what that downtime activity is for gaining that. And if you choose to sink money into that, then it'll give you more game mechanic benefits. But most of the shit is just sort of, it's just assumed to be part of the narrative.
Okay, perfect. Then we'll say, just say the usual, Morlon. We're here to celebrate our first score in our solo venture.
Very good. So I'm happy to see, and I hear that Mr. Boggs is quite pleased as well. Now, I imagine, and he sort of gestures to this one booth down near the table and says, "Madam," and then he looks back and snaps his fingers, and down one of the curving staircases come 2 gorgeous women. One of them is a dusky-skinned Eruvian, and is Clermont is he straight, or is he like anything under the sun, or what?
Yeah, I'd say he's straight.
Okay, so it's I was thinking with that. I'm like I don't know if he's got a preference one or the other.
Yeah,
or
like if one's a woman and one's a man, or what? Yeah.
Yeah. So this dusky-skinned Eruvian woman comes down, and a pale Skovlander woman with blonde hair comes down, and he says, "And for the gentleman, perhaps extremes then." And the the two women, the Eruvian woman has this kind of like demure, sort of like coquettish, look to her. I don't think I'm using the word coquettish correctly there, but more of a reserved kind of thing. And the Skovlander looks like she could tackle you.
Mm.
So here's how indulging in your vice works.
Okay.
So he's led upstairs with these women, and
actually, Kev, they sit down with Casslyn for a little bit and enjoy some bottle of something with her for.
Sure. And then what starts happening is they start bringing out these exquisite dishes for her to enjoy.
Yeah. Okay.
So she's getting fed like this.
And then after Casslyn really starts getting into that, then Cross sort of sneaks off with the girls.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's how the stress relief works. Is it doesn't cost you anything. You make an attribute roll using your character's lowest attribute rating.
Yeah.
Which I think do they both have a 0 in something?
Yeah, they both have a 0.
Okay, so then what you're going to do is you're going to roll 2d6 and take the lowest for each of them, and then that's how much stress you get to reduce.
Right. Okay.
So who would you like to roll for first?
I have Casslyn up, so I'll just roll her first.
Okay, let's see how she does.
Okay, so 2d6 roll. So 2.
2. Okay, so Casslyn heals 2 stress. Okay.
Okay, that puts her down to 3.
Okay. Yep.
Okay, and Cross.
Let's see here.
Roll.
Oh shit.
Of course he rolls bad.
So he's back down to unfortunately it really wasn't much.
So now every time I want to do this, I have to spend another gold, basically.
If you would like to take another action, yeah. And you could do another round of that if you like. Like it could be, a scene of Cross coming down and like asking Casslyn to pony up. Come on, just pay. I need more, more time.
Right.
Or would it be?
They don't both get another roll.
No, because it's each character gets to purchase. It's one coin for each person's extra downtime activity, and relieving, indulging your vice is one of those downtime activities.
He comes down and he asks her for more coin. She looks at how much booze she still has in front of her. She throws him the last, loot from their thing, and she says, "The next 2 scores, I'm taking the lion's share."
Okay. So go ahead and roll 2d6 again for Cross. Let's see if he does a little better this time.
Oh, there we go. Finally.
Yes, awesome. So clearly she knows her brother. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've done well. Yes. That's awesome.
Nice. Finally, some kind of a good roll.
Okay.
So if I had gone into 0, though, that's when bad things happen.
If you go below, like if you have, let's say, 1 and you rolled a 5, that means you overindulge. And what that means is some consequence that comes from that. Like, you draw the attention of the bluecoats or whatever. Or you brag too much about the activities you were doing. Some downtime thing happens or bad thing happens. Okay, so that is sort of, we're done the downtime. So that's actually now the completion of our first time running through a full cycle of gameplay, from getting a score, planning the score, doing the setup, executing the score, doing entanglements, and doing downtime afterwards. So next thing then will be to, I guess, plan a score.
Right.
So do you want to kind of keep your ear to the ground to see what's available, or is there something you want to try and do yourself?
Okay, so I noticed on the character sheet or the group sheets, there's the claims that you can make around your area.
Yep.
Is that a downtime activity or is that a score that you run?
Or to seize a territory is a score.
Okay.
And
So, do I have that PDF? I wonder. The one on the in Roll20 doesn't show me the map around my.
should if you give me a sec here, I can tell you when I sent that all those documents because I've actually
Well, I
got
have it right here, the black opals.
Oh, great. Okay.
Okay, so this PDF tells me, doesn't it? No. Oh, there it is. Okay, it does tell me. So right beside me is my lair.
Yep.
And then above it.
So the ones that you have a direct line to as Bravos are terrorized citizens, which gives you +2 coin for battle or extortion scores. Street fence, which gives you +2 coin when you're targeting low-class targets, or turf. And what turf does is it reduces the amount of rep needed to go up to the next tier.
Right.
Plus the usual benefits of completing a score. So let me see here. I'm just trying to find the section on turf. You know what? I should really. Fuck it. I'm gonna get used to this. I've got my my print copy, my other the printed copy with tons of bookmarks and shit in it. Look at this. So I can find shit quicker.
Yeah, nice.
Okay,
so if basically we could try and find a fence, or we could terrorize the citizens around our hideout.
Let's see here, Bravos. Here we go. Okay, so it's 104. So yeah, but basically what it is when the frightened locals offer you tribute when you lash out, they don't want to be next. So when you complete scores in that involve battle or extortion, then yeah, you get a little extra money as the locals sort of kick you further money.
Right. So I perform I attempt to score. If it's successful, I check that box, and then every time going forward, I do one of those 2 activities. I will get 2 bonus coins.
Exactly.
Okay. So basically, we plan a score that scares the citizens around our hideout.
That is correct. Yeah.
Right.
It's not just your. It's not restricted to your hunting grounds. It's there are. Where is it here? In your hunting grounds, you gain a +1 gather. So the area sort of immediately around your the rooming. Oh no, hold on. It's not a rooming house. It's a groundskeeper's cottage in that old what do you call it? In that old mansion. The area immediately around there, you gain +1 gather information and a free additional downtime activity to contribute to that operation. Huh. So, where is it here? Okay, so.
Well, I'd like to start securing some of those little boxes for the black opals.
Okay. So you think you're just going to do something real violent then?
Well, I'm wondering if we should do whichever of the 2 has less heat involved, because our heat is very high right now.
Remember that things that involve violence are often attract more heat. Yes, right. You didn't get to spend any downtime activity reducing your heat either.
Right.
Yes. So something that is less.
So finding a fence would be actually less.
Yeah. So let me just.
So that's like kind of adding a special kind of resource that the crew has.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to find the.
So then we have to decide what kind of a score it would be to gain that fence.
That's right.
So how do we? Yeah, right. How are we going to find a street fence?
Sorry, I'm just trying to find the because there's a section that talks about planning engagement.
Okay. So we don't have any special abilities.
Who doesn't?
The Black Opals?
No, you do. Your special abilities are dangerous. You may add one action rating to hunt, skirmish, or wreck, which is, I think, already included.
Oh, okay. So.
Well, let me look at the glossary. Okay, claims. Expanding. 230.
Yeah, we'd like to find a street fence, I think. So then that means if we do a sabotage or a smash and grab, which actually...
It's probably more of a seizing. Here we go, 46 to 47. Okay, that's what I want. All right, seizing claims. Every claim in Duskfall is already controlled by a faction. To acquire one for yourself, you have to take it from someone. To seize him, tell the GM which claim on your map your crew intends to capture. Okay, I'll detail you the claim with the location and a description, and will tell you whether which faction currently controls it. Okay, you can ignore the roadmap as well. It's just that it.
Oh, I see. Like I could choose something else.
Yeah, it just there. What is the downside to that? Yeah, you may need to do investigate and gather information in order to do that. Okay, so let's see. I think that the fence. Let's take a look at your faction sheet here. So. The Blue Coats and the Inspectors really are not fans of yours. The Gray Cloaks, who are a big deal in Six Towers, they are they're positive with you. So, but I don't think you want to piss them off because I think they've kind of got your back so far.
I know. I'm almost wondering if what we should go after is the Blue Coat intimidation.
Let's see here. You're -1 with the Blue Coats. You're also plus with the. Hold on, let me just take a look at Six Towers.
Well, like I just mean like which claim we should go after, because what that one does is -2 heat for every score we do.
Okay.
And that can help us to reduce and keep our heat down.
Yeah, which would be really helpful.
And also, Cross is pretty fucking pissed at the Blue Coats right now, so going after them is very appealing to him.
Yeah, okay, so seizing a claim is a very serious attack on a faction, usually resulting in -2 faction status for the target. If you go after the Blue Cloaks, or Blue Coats in this thing, you're going to be at -3, which means you're at war with them. And being at war with them is bad because you lose a tier, and there's other limits that apply.
Okay, so how does that? Maybe we should talk about that, because maybe being at war with the Blue Coats is the destiny of the Black Opals. I don't know.
You may want to be in the Blue Coats are a tier 3 faction, and you guys are tier 0.
Right.
That would not be a good when you're at war with any number of factions. Your crew suffers +1 heat from scores. You temporarily lose 1 hold, and you only get 1 downtime activity instead of 2.
Oh, okay.
So that may not be a good. But let me just think about this here. I think that maybe what you want to do is prey on someone who's equally low tier, maybe some low hanging fruit here. And it's a.
I just feel like playing is a player's advantage, and that's something that our fledgling crew could use. That
one is, sorry?
That securing a claim is like a permanent advantage. Like it gathers advantage every job you do, or every downtime.
Which one is this? What are you looking at?
Well, I'm just saying that a claim in general is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Doing when you're starting out crew.
So I think, how about this? Is there will be a oops, we got a different city in here. So there's a faction in Okay, so there's a group called the Lamp Blacks, which were former of the Lamplighter Guild who have turned to crime. And their services were replaced by electrical, what do you call it, to electrical lighting that is around Duskfall. Actually, that's not really, doesn't fit with them. How about crows? So I'm going to say there's actually a fence in Six Towers that what do you call it? That this group called the Foghounds. They're a bunch of smugglers. They're a group of maybe like no more than 10 guys, but they've been operating around and they take advantage of the canals. They're smugglers and they're pretty decent. Not shipmen, but like boatsmen, I guess. They operate because remember, there's canals that surround Duskfall, right? So I'm going to say there's actually a guy who sort of routinely has been showing up in Six Towers near where the two major canals are here.
Yeah.
And his name is, let's see. Actually, it's a woman named Polonia Pritchard. Let me write that down. So, Polonia Pritchard, yeah. You've heard that she sort of shows up, and then the Foghounds have been transporting her around to get these, buy either stolen goods or things that have been stolen from the trains in Night Market, and then smuggled over into Six Towers. So she'd be a really good, a good asset. And the person you'd be pissing off to take her would be the Foghounds, who are only a tier 1 faction. Okay, so then what you would need to do is we'll think about the score. So the score itself, you can think about how do you want to, I guess, what's the score going to be? How are you going to?
Right. What are the options again?
So the options for the score for, well, the things that Bravo sort of excel at battle, extortion, sabotage, and smash and grab. So which of those do you think would be the
Battle?
extortion is actually the one that would lead with the least likely of killing someone.
Right. Extortion. How would we use? Yeah, we could use extortion to maybe secure this fence.
Excuse me. So if extortion is sort of the score that you're going to think of, then the next thing to think of is the approach. So the approach you got, remember they are assault, deception, stealth, occult, social, or transport.
Right.
So for you guys, it's either social, deception, or assault, I think, are your sort of strong suits. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay. So how do you think you would approach this then? Maybe what we'll do is we'll do a gather information action first. Get you to figure out where this, I guess, is this the person or is this the score you want to go for?
Yeah, I think that sounds good.
Okay, so then let's talk about how you're going to get information on this first, because you don't really, you know the name, but you don't know where she is or anything like that.
Right.
So gathering information is, yeah, it's again a kind of a narrative thing. So you can look at your actions that are listed, like what other games call skills. How do you think hi, sweetie. How do you think you're going to approach this problem?
I think Cross is going to sway someone.
Sway someone, okay. So sway is trying to persuade someone, not
right.
to not someone who you don't know. So who do you think you're how does this play out in the fiction? Who's he sort of trying to sweet talk to get information about what's her name? Polonia.
Isn't that actually intimidating them? Consort's being nice to them, right? And Sway's being...
Consort is, let me double check here before I answer.
I think if I remember, Casslyn has Consort and...
Sway is when you, sway is when you influence someone with guile, charm, or argument.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, wreck is when you unleash savage force, and consort is when you socialize with friends and contacts.
Oh, okay.
Is when you compel swift obedience.
Okay, yeah, I think he'll try and use Sway.
Okay. So who is he trying to who's he trying to sway here? Who's he trying to meet with to get information on this? This is an opportunity for you to fill in some of the some of the world as well here. So
right.
You look at your contacts, because contacts will give you assets. They'll give you benefits in your role.
Right. So who is his? Well, his asset is Mercy, a stone killer.
Yeah.
The crew. We have also oh yeah, loots. We always use loots, so I'm getting a little tired of loots.
Yeah, and we haven't met Mercy yet, I don't think.
No, we haven't met Mercy yet.
So what's tell me about Mercy then? What's sort of her shtick?
I think Mercy was a childhood friend of Cross's,
Okay.
who went down this sort of dark path, and Casslyn doesn't know that Cross is still friends with her.
Okay. Is Mercy Tycherosi as well, or is she from Duskfall?
Yeah, maybe she's also from Tycherosi, and that's why they were friends with her.
Okay. Okay.
So,
so what does Mercy do now? What's her Is she, does she have a proper job type job, or is she, working in some kind of nefarious capacity as well?
Well, her description was that she's a stone killer.
So maybe she's a killer for hire.
Yeah, maybe she's a killer for hire. And so Cross is going to go talk to her and see if she has any information about where Polonia could be.
Okay.
And maybe he thinks that Mercy might have worked for someone who maybe she's done a job for the.
Okay.
Was the smugglers?
Now, just so you know, so that would be
a consort.
That would be a consort, yeah, not a sway then.
Right. Well, and command doesn't help you with this either.
No, unless you can think of some way to do that. Just the way, like consort is the one to deal with your existing contacts. So the way that I think I would work it is.
So if you have 0, that means you roll 2 and you take the worst one, right?
Yes. You take 2 and take the worst one. And then, but remember, there are other ways to modify that. Like you could do effort, so you could incur 2 stress, or you could take a devil's bargain to get an extra. Basically, make it 1 dice instead of 2 and take the lowest.
Right.
Or what you could do is use. Like what going to Mercy would do is give you an extra dice. So effectively, you'd be at 1 dice already for your consort.
Oh, because she's positive towards him.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I'm not sure that's the way it works. Rules is written, but that's why I'm going to play it for tonight.
Right.
What you could do then?
What's the point of having someone with a positive relationship with you?
Yeah. So how do you think that? Where's Cross going to meet this girl?
Maybe she has a sort of a day job or an office that's like service or whatever, like a false business.
Okay.
Where it appears that she's doing one thing, but really she doesn't do any business with that, and just like, she's a clock fixer or any silly job like that, but she's never fixed a clock in her life. The people just come there to find her to hire her for jobs.
Okay. So yes, you walk in and there's what do you think Mercy looks like?
She is. I think she's a large. She's a bigger girl. She's tough. She's kind of scary looking. Does not look like a clock fixer. Looks like a stone cold killer.
Okay. So you walk in and into her shop. There's a bunch of clocks in various states of repair that are sort of around in this room, and she's sitting behind there's counters on the other side. There's a counter, and then it leads further into the back where there's a small workshop that opens into the room itself. And she's sitting there working at this desk, and she looks over and she's got this. Let's see here for her Tycherosi features. I think that her skin she looks pretty much normal, like any other human. Only her skin is like a grayish color with if you touch it, it's like sandpaper. It's like a shark's skin. And it has that weird oily kind of look to it as well too. So she kind of looks always like she's got dried sweat on her face.
And she smokes cigars.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. So she's
jumping like haze and stench in her shop.
Okay. So you walk in and she looks over and says, really without much of a inflection, Cross.
Mercy. And he sort of flops down in this chair she's got in the corner of her office like he always does.
Yep.
Puts his feet up on a sort of pile of or an end table there or something, with kicks some of her junk off of it and puts his feet up.
Okay.
How are you, old friend?
She shrugs her shoulders and says, busy, but busy is good.
Well, question for you. Have you ever heard of a Polonia Pritchard?
Sure. Why don't you go ahead and make your roll. So the roll, let's see here. First off, there's you get your one, so it'll be one dice with her as the asset. And then you can either incur 2 stress to gain another dice, or you can take a devil's bargain to gain another dice. You can choose one of those two. I think let me think here. The devil's bargain for this one would be that there may be another faction that has interests in Polonia that you're not aware of, that may be pissed off by seizing control of her.
So that would be another faction that might have some negative effect if we.
Yeah, it's not going to have a huge consequence, but what it'll mean is that I'm going to start a clock on something, and then it'll give a tick in that clock.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Sure. I'll take the devil's bargain on this one.
Okay, so that means you got 2 dice. Let me just mark down my my clock here. Okay.
And so now this I roll, and it's the better of the 2.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. So I got a 5.
Nice. So the 5, you get good details. So there's a spot where she meets up. And where she meets up with the fog hounds in, where they drop her off, where she meets with the, kind of the locals, and then they pick her up afterwards too. They also, I'm going to think you probably know the route as well. Is there any other information you would want to try and learn from this?
I think just a place to find her was all I was looking for out of this.
Okay. So then the next, I think we'll do the next step here.
Before he leaves, Cross says to her, and he says, I would appreciate you not taking any contracts from the foghorns on my life for this.
Fog hounds.
Foghorns.
She says, well, I'll give you a chance to buy it off first.
And then he laughs and she laughs.
Okay. Okay, so the score itself, what we'll do is we will do the engagement roll first, so we can set up how difficult the score is going to be. So first off, okay, so it's extortion, I think I've said extortion. Is that the one that that you guys want to use?
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Okay. So extortion is the one you're going to use. What approach are you using? Is that that's the assault or deception, stealth, social? And it's not what that does is it dictates sort of what you need to focus on, the specific of the plan. If you're doing an assault, the detail is the point of attack. If you're doing deception, it's the method of deception. If you're doing social, it's the social connection. So
right.
How
I'm going to use force.
You'd use force?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have point of attack then. So what's your thought as to how you're going to do this? Is this going to be just straightforward, you show up and beat the shit out of a bunch of foghounds, and then, and just remember that if you kill someone, remember there's the, mechanically speaking, it raises the heat up, the amount of heat you gain. I think it's by 2 on a score. And if you just, I'm sorry, I'm trying to think. Oh, and the other thing is there's the spirit wardens that can get warned when someone dies in Dustfall. Remember, their bodies within 3 days will release a ghost. So the spirit warden is a bell that rings and a crow flies out, a Deathseeker crow that flies out and finds the location of the body.
Right. Okay. So I think we'll be careful not to kill anyone. or try to be.
Let me talk about the heat as well too. So the things that the way the heat is calculated is if it is a smooth and quiet with low exposure, it starts at 0 heat. It gets +1 if it's high profile or well connected, +1 if it happened on hostile turf, +1 if you're at war with another faction, and +2 if there's killing involved. So you're currently sitting at how much heat right now?
7 or something. Yeah, we're at,
you're at how much? 7?
1, 2, 3, 4, with 8 of 9 heat.
8. Oh my God. Yeah. So next heat level you get. So maybe.
So we have to try and do this with no heat.
Yeah. So it would need to be something smooth and quiet with low exposure.
Right.
And I don't think it's not high profile. It's not well connected. If you do this in 6 towers, you're not on hostile turf. You're not at war with anyone, and as long as you don't kill anyone, you could conceivably get 0 heat. It's just whether you're able to keep it as a smooth and quiet operation with low exposure.
So what if we just try and scare Polonia and don't include the hounds? Like, if you know what I mean, like try and force her to say, okay, you're not working for them anymore. Now you work for us. You're gonna,
Yeah.
So,
no, that makes.
Right, like it's gonna be her decision to come work for us.
Yeah, and you're gonna say like you're telling them that you're not working for them anymore. They don't need to know that that she's working for you guys now.
Right.
Okay.
Well, I mean, if there's consequences from them coming after us, that's like later. I'm just saying, but from this actual score, that might mean there's no heat from this operation.
Yeah, and that'll give you a chance. That'll give you a chance to get through the cycle and start doing some downtime operations again. And
take her down a level.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about the engagement roll then. So it starts with 1d6 for sheer luck. Is the operation particularly bold or daring, or is it overly complex or contingent on many factors? What do you think?
I don't think so. Like, it's not overly bold to just sort of grab someone and intimidate them.
I guess it depends on how you read bold or daring. Like, is it like bold or daring could be physically flashy, right? But just showing up and telling someone they're not working for the other people anymore, that's pretty bold.
I guess it's a little bold.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll go back to that one. Does the plan's detail expose a vulnerability of the target or hit them where they're weakest? Is this target strongest against this approach, or do they have particular defenses or special preparations? I'm not sure that either of them is necessarily true. I mean, they're not the strongest faction, per se, but they're not.
And they're not taking special precautions to protect this fence.
Yeah, they're not doing any special precautions to protect her, and I don't think that they're particularly weak here either. So I think that one might be a wash as well.
Yeah.
Can any of your friends or contacts provide aid or insight for this operation? Are any enemies or rivals interfering with this operation? Well, the Foghounds don't know you from a hole in the ground, so I don't think there's any issue there. Yeah. There's no one I can tell you from behind the scenes who's pissed at you guys, at least in respect, who would interfere with this. Can any of your friends or contacts provide aid or insight? Just as a reminder, I know it's been quite a while since we played, but you've got a great reputation with the Gray Cloaks, those guys who used to be Blue Cloaks and were framed by a crooked watch commander.
Right.
This is Six Towers territory, so if you want to try and frame it in future, like I'm not going to frame this in such a leading way for you before, but if you want to frame this in such a way to say look, this is to your benefit, man. Like, these Foghounds are coming on fucking in your territory. You know us. You like us.
Right.
Right.
Polonia should be working for, you and your allies, not some other crew.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's, you're right. That would make sense. It's definitely attempting it.
So that puts you at 2 dice then. Then the final one is, are there other elements you might want to consider, like a lower tier target or a higher tier target? So higher tier target, they are tier 1, you're tier 0, so it's -1 dice from that. So you're back down to 1. Is there a situation in the district that makes the operation more or less tricky? Not for me. If what you're planning on doing is really just literally showing up at her place of business and telling her that this is the fucking score, I don't know if that isn't. I mean, that's the score. But I'm not sure that influences things one way or the other.
I wouldn't think so.
But which gets back to the question of whether it's bold or daring. I think it is pretty bold to just you're not only.
It's kind of bold.
So what that boils down to then is 2d6 in total. So what this will be is you roll 2. We'll see what the highest is, and this tells us what the starting position will be for this score.
Right, okay.
Okay, so go ahead and roll 2d6, and then we'll see how that goes. Take a look at roll 20 again. Oops, no, it won't. Here I am. Yes!
4.
It added together. Fuck. I saw the 6, and I was like, oh, that's awesome. Okay, so 4 means it's you're in a risky position, which is the standard default position.
Okay.
Okay, now that's great. So what we'll do is we'll cap it there, and I'll have a fucking 14-hour drive tomorrow to think about what what we're gonna do with this next. But yeah, and what I'll do in the interim too is I will brush up on the rules again, because I was really fucking rusty on the rules tonight.
Oh, totally. I mean, you can't blame us for being off for so long.
Yeah. So anyway, for those listening at home, if anyone's listening at home, thanks so much for joining us for this pretty rocky session of Blades in the Dark. But I had fun. I hope you had fun watching it, and we will see you again soon.